Now then, racing. Glorious, dangerous, just a little bit mad. Today I'm going to take a look at what drives these people. What makes them choose to risk their lives despite the setbacks that are so clear to a sane person.
Well, I'm known as Lauren Simpson. Well, I'm technically known by the username LawVS and the F1 Ladderman. Safety even back in the late 90s was still much better than it had been historically in times before, as in the 50s, 60s, 70s, where you could not go a season in Formula One without at least one fatality.
Green flag on. Incident.
It's good. It's good. Racing, it's fast and loud and often dangerous, and yet it stirs something in the hearts of those who do it every day. Actually, I'm quite curious what makes these people want to go out on the road every day. That being said, I decided to speak to a driver myself and personally find out why they choose this way of life. It's maybe just an escape or some sort of odd form of therapy, but I couldn't keep myself guessing, so I just spoke to the guy called Nick. He's a maths teacher who knows all of these feelings very deeply and intimately. So let's find out what makes him tick, and also why for him 2 wheels are better than 4. Start with your name.
Nick.
Nick. What do you
Round,
do, Nick?
Teacher, maths teacher.
Maths teacher. What do you do in your part-time job?
What do you mean part-time? This. Well, amateur racing, motorcycle, club racing they call it. So,
How
yeah.
long have you been doing it?
So this is my third ever round on this, but I've raced a little 1254 stroke, which doesn't go very fast at all. So it does about 75 mile an hour flat out for 2 years. So yeah, it's really fun. I do it with my best mate and my brother as a team. So it's like 6 hour, 8 hour, 12 hour enduros, which they're really, really good fun. And we were champions last year, so that was pretty good.
Wait. How did you get into motorbikes?
Well, my dad's always ridden them, so I used to go on the back of his when I was younger, probably from about 11, and just grew up with bikes. So I started, not seriously, but I rode some enduros, off-road stuff when I was 13, 14. I've always said, like my dad as well, the best way to learn is ride off-road first and learn how to crash, because you learn about all grip levels and the bike moving and stuff like that, and it's safer to crash on a field than on the road. It's not the best way to learn, really. But on the field, yeah, the amount of times I've crashed in our local field and you most of the time walk away unscathed, so it's the best way to learn. So from about 13, then I gave it up after about 17 because I was at university and it's just too expensive. And then got my road license when I was about 23, but didn't get a road bike till I was about 26, and then rode on the road ever since. But this is a lot more fun.
How does it feel going 130 miles an hour?
You get used to it. Like in the morning on the first session, it is a bit of a wake up, but then the more and more you do it, you just get used to it. Everything slows down because your brain adjusts to it, and that's why people go faster through the weekend, because your brain gets used to it. And stuff starts happening slower. So you don't notice as much by the end of the weekend that you are doing as rapid as you are, because it's like when you're in a good place, you're riding you're just doing it. You're in flow. I think they call it flow state, don't they? Like the professionals, and you're just doing it. You're not really thinking about what you're doing. You're just doing it, and that's when you know you're riding well. By the end of the weekend, it usually happens.
Do you think much when you race?
Yeah, you do. Yeah, especially on the 125, because you're not going quick enough. So you do start thinking about like. I personally, sorry, there's a race side. The weird thing I think about when I'm riding is, because I know my family are watching on the live timing at home, so I think, I hope I'm doing I'm doing well for them, and I'm wondering what my brother's thinking at the time, and I could hear him like, go on Roundy, go a bit quicker. So yeah, stuff like that sometimes. Yeah, and then when I was younger, sometimes I sing in my helmet and stuff, and it's mad. Yeah. But most of the time when you're on these bigger bikes, you've not got that much time to think. You do in practice, your mind goes wandering in practice. When you're racing and there's someone in front of you, you don't think about what else. But when you've got when you're on your own, when you've got where you got in the race and you're on your own, your mind does start wandering, so you have to keep concentrated, otherwise that's when you make mistakes.
You're like stuck in no man's land.
Yeah, and your mind starts wandering because you're not focused on getting your claws into the guy in front. So it's a battle then, it's a mental battle. So you've got to try and shut down other thoughts and concentrate on what you're doing.
Well, that's what I wanted to ask you today about, is the mental battle. Do you remember your first crash?
I've only crashed the big bike once, and that was last week. So yeah, I do. Yeah, it was last week. It was
recent, so...
Yeah, it was 2 weeks ago at Cadwell.
How did it feel?
It just happens. You don't really think a lot about it. It just happens because you've got adrenaline coursing through you. You just start tumbling, and you don't really. And then you're like, oh, I need to pick the bike up. Like I was straight on my feet trying to pick the bike up. Yeah, you don't think about it. You sort of like think about it when you're going around the next time for 2 or 3 laps, and then you get your confidence back and you've sort of got over it. As long as you don't hurt yourself, usually. Yeah, so it just happens. You don't really... Like a little 125, you crash that quite often, so... And that's not really a big deal, because you're not... Corners can range from 25 to 60 mile an hour, and that's not really very fast in the grand scheme of things. And you'd be very unlucky to properly hurt yourself on that. They're just little tumbles, but yeah, you do think about it, but it doesn't stop you doing it, because it's the best thing in the world.
This whole conversation with Nick was great. Some might even call it insightful. But no, all of this got me curious about how a Formula One driver copes with these challenges. Since not everyone is lucky as Nick to be able to just walk away from a crash, I decided to ask Lawrence Simpson, about what he thinks the drivers feel.
George Russell thing, he actually did respond to it, and I believe he said he wasn't that bothered, he wasn't aware of the cameras being there, and that it was just something that happened, as in, he didn't seem all that bothered by it, and he's just shaking it off, basically. So I think he was just reminding people that that's just what happens in Singapore. It can get like that, and he's moved on.
Have you ever had a driver who you thought did really well, perhaps maybe Jack Villeneuve or someone like that, who was essentially, because of any external factors, never the same, be it crashes, be it, mental health pressure from the team and not being able to find a seat, and eventually, kind of withering away? Have you got anyone like that you could remember?
Oh yeah, I would say easily Felipe Massa.
As imagens do acidente foram claras, mas demorou para entender como aquela peça estava voando no meio da pista e por que o capacete ficou tão danificado com o choque.
I would say Massa is probably one of the best examples, because 2008, he was world champion for 30 seconds, basically, until Hamilton crossed the line and got the points needed. But at that time, Yeah. But but what you saw on the podium, because Massa still won his home race, was that defiant chest thumping, I'm still a great driver, and that was powerful. And but in 2009, Ferrari fell apart. Kimi Raikkonen, his teammate, I mean, even though Ferrari won the constructors that year, the team that got the rules so disastrously wrong, and Massa did the best he could with a teammate Kimi who basically checked out, and then Ferrari paid him to just go away to get Fernando Alonso in the following year. And then Felipe unfortunately had his accident at the Hungaroring. Afterwards, he wasn't the same. He,
When you sort of like your own adrenaline feeling, did you sort of have a little fear going as fast as you did the lap before, or did you just go on?
You
and say,
got a bit more. You got some caution. Well, it was the last race of the weekend, so I was more of the mindset. I knew why it had happened, and I want to go away and improve the bike and spend more money on the bike because I knew exactly why it had happened. So just wait for. I knew why it had happened because I didn't match the revs on the downshift. I don't know if you understand that, but I didn't match the revs on the downshift because I didn't have a blipper on it last time. It's now got a blipper on it. It's worked perfectly all weekend. So the back wasn't snaking. It doesn't snake now.
Did you get like the wheel?
The back end started snaking, and I wasn't going to make the corner because I couldn't slow down in a straight line. Yeah. So I picked it up and went straight on into the grass, and the grass got bumpy, and it laid itself down. So I was more analysing once I'd calmed. I was angry actually because I knew why, and all the rest of the race all had blippers, and I didn't have a blipper. So I'm trying to make up for something I don't have. Whereas this weekend it's behaved perfectly because we've gone away and got the blipper. So you sort of analyse it. I had a stiff neck once the adrenaline had gone away. You go see them. You go get medically checked. You've got to get medically checked after every accident, even if you're fine, to get clear off. So. Yeah, you think about it, for about 3 laps, 4 laps, 5 laps, you're a bit more cautious, but then you get back in the zone. When you're following someone, it's weird how everything else goes out your head and you just want to beat the one in front of you.
Do you think, in general in sports, you were talking about your performance and you're thinking about the people at home looking at your times and you're thinking about how they perceive how you race.
Yeah, you are, definitely.
Does that mental, does it mentally set you back? Does it push you forward to be faster?
You want me to wait for that? I tell you what, they should ban them, shouldn't they? They're too noisy, aren't they?
I don't know what they're doing at a race weekend.
No. I've learned more about myself because I'm 35 now. I've learned more about myself as I got older. Like, I know that this is my form of validation for myself. So going faster and doing well, I'm all about positions, how well I'm doing. So if I'm not getting better, because I've just started, if I'm not getting better, then I'd lose motivation and interest. And this my way of, it is sort of bikes as my passion. So I want to do really well. So it's self-pressure, and you do want to do well for I know my brother's watching at home and I want him to think, oh bloody hell, Roundy's rode well today, my brother's rode well. It's all about it is the challenge of getting faster and faster and faster. And
Did you think about your brother when you crashed?
No,
you didn't think about it?
No,
You didn't worry?
I did after. Once I got up, my mate had come because he'd just seen me, so he came. I could see him across the track. I said, "Just tell me, mum and dad, I'm all right." Yeah, because otherwise they're worrying, aren't they? So I said, "Just give him a ring." I shouted across, "Just give him a ring. Make sure they know I'm all right. Because I'm on my feet. I'm not hurt." So you don't think about it at the time. I did think, "Oh am I allowed to swear?" I was like, "Oh shit, my dad's gonna kill me because the fairing was bashed in." So we've spent 2 weeks repairing this thing, and it just takes hours and hours of repairing. So I did think, oh, he's going to kill me because I've crashed it. And how much is it going to cost? Yeah, that's what you're thinking about. How much is it going to cost? Because this bleeds you dry. doing this bleeds you dry. So any additional costs kill you. Yeah, you can't really tell. If you have a look on the other side, you'd be hard pushed to see where it crashed, but yeah.
So you do this privately, like, you don't get...
No, nothing. It's all my own money. I pump all my own money into it, yeah. Every pound, like, I'm on zero at the end of the month yeah. I don't go out anymore. I just buy tyres and fix my bike, and yeah.
Steve earlier was telling me it's £500.
Well, these tyres have cost me 460 quid, and they'll do a weekend. It's mental. Well, if you're doing I did the endurance for the first time yesterday. You won't get a set of tyres out the weekend, so you're like 1.5 sets of tyres a weekend. Yeah. So it's pure passion. Everyone here, they're just bleeding themselves dry. This is all paid for mostly by people out of their own pocket. Yeah. You know, it's because we love it. It's like the rest of life is really boring. You go back to work and you're bored, and like you're just waiting. You're a bit like it's a bit like a drug. You're waiting for your next fix. You're waiting for the next round. There's in the little 125 series. There's a Spanish round in November. So November's about as late as we go, and then you're just waiting for March to kick in again, because they usually start about March. So I don't really do a lot of road riding anymore because it's a bit dull.
I think that's all.
Lovely. Thank you very much. Nice to meet you. Yeah, good question.